Adrian, you're really mean to your mom, dude.
Good.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just getting really far in Princess Peach Showtime. And it's not easy just because it's about a girl.
Yeah, well, could you put it down for a second so we can talk?
Okay, fine.
We gotta help Chris. He's fucking broken.
Peacemaker doesn't break ads. This is all part of some larger plan, I'm sure. So don't say that, okay?
Okay, but we need to bail him out of prison. He's got a court date in 3 months, and he needs a lawyer.
He's already got a lawyer. His name is Jeff, and he smells like peppermint schnapps and baby powder and burps.
Jeff is a public defender, and I think he has some private demons that he needs to be dealing with. Adrian, we need the money down here to hire a capable lawyer.
This is blood money, ads. This is blood money. It comes from drug dealers and gangsters and human traffickers.
It was blood money, but now it's just money, and it's just sitting here.
Blood money will put a curse upon all of us and our descendants.
No, it won't.
Look, if you want to help Peacemaker get out, you should do a prison break.
We're not doing a prison break.
Okay, well then you threaten the judge's family.
What part of you thinks you're one of the good guys, Adrian?
All parts of me.
We're not doing a
Okay, so then it's back to Breakout. This is the one I wanted to do anyway, so...
No, fuck.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And this is going to be a spoiler-full episode of the Season 2 finale of Peacemaker. And we're covering Season 2 of Peacemaker, Episode 8, entitled Full Nelson, which I find funny, too, for the fact that, you know, John Cena is a wrestler. And
I have to admit something. Ever since I saw the title and watched the episode for the first time, I kept confusing Nelson with Hanson. and so when they're going to see Nelson, I'm like, that Mbop Kitty, that's not the ones. And it wasn't until the second viewing that I went, oh, Hanson, that was the kid group, not Nelson. yeah. I was like, yeah, exactly. So it was one of those things that, like, the first time I watched it, I was like, man, those guys got old. Like, so I have to admit that to that, and
that's funny,
and to the listeners, because I kept it, like I said, it wasn't until halfway through in the second viewing that I went, oh no, the group I'm thinking of is Hanson.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was a good finale, for all the kind of plot holes, nitpicky stuff that we could tear it apart. But I don't want to do that. There's a lot of holes you could drive a truck through on this one. But I'm willing to give him a little bit of grace, because we like the show so much, and we like what James Gunn is doing, and so.
Yeah, but honestly, it's so weird too, because after literally the next day, because that's when I saw it. I didn't watch it Thursday night, but I watched it on Friday, which was yesterday. And literally all I saw on my feed was everybody bashing the episode.
I saw headlines about that. I didn't go any deeper than that, because I didn't want to dig into it. And so I saw that. I saw some headlines about people not liking it, not liking all the setups for the next season or whatever. And I'm like,
I get it. I understand it, but the thing is, I think for the fact that the first season, it ended on a big battle scene and left off with a cliffhanger. In this case, this was all hopeful, and then we're bashed over the head at the very end scene.
But you had to know, come on, you had to know. And if anybody didn't see this coming, maybe
I saw it coming way ahead, because was flag.
Yeah, it was way too. But I'm just saying is things were going way too good. Okay, for them to end the episode on a high note. There's no way. We know
in the very beginning of the episode, it was bad in the sense of how Chris was, them trying to get him back. They retrieved that, just to give an overall synopsis feel. Like in the very beginning, it was bad. Chris was in prison. you had Harcourt and an economist stuck in Argus, as well as Judo Master dealing with Flag. And then on top of that, Ads dealing with her own issues. And then literally them going to Chris, giving that whole, we have to confront you.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if you didn't, in the first viewing, if you didn't halfway through that montage, if you didn't know that the other shoe was going to drop, that's on you. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean you. I know. I don't mean you. I don't mean you, Mark. I mean you.
But it was written on. It was written on the walls. Yeah, right there.
If you didn't see there was another shoe going to drop, okay. Yeah. Then that's on you. I'm sorry. You should know. You should know better. They're not gonna leave us with a not in the second season. The second act. Come on. Like if this goes only 3 seasons, or if it goes more, whatever. We all should know by now. Yeah. The second act is always where you end on a downer. You're supposed to. I mean,
it's the Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. Wrath of Khan. Everything you got to know.
The Temple of Doom.
Temple technically was a prequel, so it's second. But that trilogy doesn't fit the mold. But but no, I'm just saying you got to know second acts are going to be. That's where like I said, if you didn't see things going so well and didn't realize that the other shoe was going to drop, I'll apologize to you, but I'm sorry. You should have seen it coming.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. I mean, whether it was exactly what happened or not, but still, if that's what people are mad about, then that's stupid. I'm sorry.
It's as viewers, you should be aware of this. Even
that's what I'm saying.
Basic storytelling in anything that is a series or movie series at that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But I just laugh when it's like all this stuff comes out and you're like, oh, it's like, really? I saw that coming a mile away. Yeah. I don't know where you were, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's read this synopsis. So let's get the HBO Max synopsis here so we can get started on actually discussing specifics of the episode. This is the title of the episode was Full Nelson. The 11th Street Kids finding resolutions to their arcs and forming their own agency called Checkmate, while the episode ends with Rick Sr. trapping Peacemaker on a planet named Salvation. That's pretty good. That's a clear synopsis of what happened. But no, it was a good. I felt it was a good episode. I wasn't disappointed by it.
I wasn't disappointed either. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
So, some specific things. Let's see. We finally get to see the boat scene that they've been talking about all season, and I think we all thought they had sex, not just kissed. But once I saw where it was going and what was going on the boat, I was like, well, wait a minute. This is probably not going to go the way we thought it was going to go. But it was cool. It was cool that they had this night together. They go out on this date. And
it meant something is what it boiled down to.
She finally admits to him that it meant something. Of course it meant something, and they don't, without saying it to each other, they're saying it. It was really a lovely moment. And I have to admit, like, I teared up both times I watched in that motel room scene, when they're all sitting around convincing Chris to come back, and it just but back to the boat. So we finally get to find out what happened on the boat. We see them, they have this lovely little date at the Belly Burger, or whatever what it's called. And, she stops the guy and she's about to have one of her fights, and Chris stops her. And I love that. Again, that's another one of those interactions that I loved, where she says, oh, I didn't need you to protect me. And he said, no, I wasn't protecting you. I was protecting him, because he's like, we're having a great night. Can we just have a good night? And I thought it was just so touching, because
it was.
We see the like I said, we've seen the growth in Chris over this season.
Yes.
and particularly in this episode. And John Cena again just did a great job.
I thought
this.
he was amazing in the last 3 episodes and showing
Yeah.
emoting and everything. He's come through more as an actor, I think. He's not the wrestler everybody hates, that, you know, it's like, oh, you can't see me stuff. And
Right.
I really do enjoy him as an actor. I think he's come through, I would say, within the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And it really shows through with his performance here within the show. I look forward to more stuff that he could do, because I think he could do more. Yeah, we will still have him as Chris Smith as Peacemaker, I think. But the thing is that within the past 2 episodes, it was very, very good.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Jennifer Holland. She showed more than anything over this past season that I've seen her in anything else. And it made me appreciate her more. Same thing with Steve Agee, which is so funny too, because as I looked up, and I should have put this in my notes last time, if you remember, the Suicide Squad that was directed by James Gunn himself and written, Steve Agee was the stand-in for King Shark.
Yeah. When they did the motion capture, Sylvester Stallone did the voice, and that's interesting. I remember reading that just a few months ago, that he was the one that did the stand-in for that character. I mean, I could get it. He's so tall that gives them a good eye line, for them to look at. Kind of like the girl in She-Hulk, the woman who was the stand-in, for Tatiana Maslany was like super tall as well, so that they could have a good eye line of where they were looking at. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, his scene is hilarious. And at the end, the tag, the post credits,
the jokes
with him, the jokes that didn't make it into the show was great. I thought it was pretty cool, to have this guy who, Steve Agee, he's known for comedy roles. Did he do stand up? Do you know? Or was he
I think he did do stand up at one point.
Yeah, I think he must have. But to have him play this role where, Harcourt's like, you're terrible at this, and he goes, I've never lied. I never said I was good at this. You should be doing. It was just great. I that scene in particular really stood out the second time, and then, like I said, the extra little bits at the end that we got with Flag in the boardroom with the secretary, whichever secretary it was that they were meeting with, and then the little the jokes was great. So
like I said, seeing what had happened with the boat, as they call it, and it was a Nelson concert, so it's right up Chris's wheelhouse in his music repertoire of cheesy 80s hair metal bands.
80s, 90s, hair metal. It's weird because that was they were the 90s, but it definitely had an 80s vibe. Everything he does has an 80s vibe, but he always puts it in the 90s. I'm sure it's because of his age. He's a little younger. I think he's a little younger than we are. So
but
he's not.
And to get to actually getting to see Nelson play a song live, which was pretty cool. And I don't know that song, but I thought it was really, really cool. You can see that the boys have aged up and the twins have done better. They still tour. They still do their thing, everybody. So if you're a Nelson fan and you say, are they still around? Yes, they are still around.
Yeah,
and
you can still, they're
Chris
still
Smith
doing.
knows.
Yeah. So they're still doing stuff. So, that was great. It was good to see that. I did think it was a little bit, it took me back a couple times in the episode. There was a couple times in the episode where I had to rewind it and go, did I miss something? Because like he goes, I'm a little, this is one of the plot holes that I don't want to complain about a lot, but it's a little confusing to me. When they bail him out of jail, he usually, now I've never been in jail. I've never been bailed out of jail. I've never bailed someone out of jail. I only know what I've seen in TV and movies. but I've always kind of thought that when you bail someone out, you're like there when they get out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it jumps to, like we see Ads and Adrian are talking about going to pay the money to bail him out, to get him a good lawyer. And then the next thing we know, we have Derwitz coming to the cell again. Derwitz was the guard. The guard was great. When he tells him, "Oh, you've been bailed out, you can go," and Chris is like, "Well, I don't want to leave." And he goes, "What do you think this is, a Holiday Inn? You go. There's no staying. You go." And then the next scene we see, he's at Economist's house.
Yes.
And I'm like, what happened in between there?
Yeah, there's a moment where there's missing time. Yeah,
we must have missed. They needed to give us something there of either him getting away from Ads and Adrian, or whatever reason that Adrian and Ads weren't there when he got released from prison. I don't understand.
Yeah, James Gunn, listen to us. We want those missing scenes.
I'm sure he listens to this podcast. I listen to his podcast, so he should. So that was one of those moments where I had to kind of back it up and go, did I miss something? Because the next thing we know, then Ads, they're all complaining to Economist, like, you just let him go, and Economist is like, what was I supposed to do? Tackle him?
Exactly,
which is
right.
funny. Which is funny that Vigilante does tackle him.
I love you, man.
When he tasers him. But yeah, it was there was a couple of moments like that like I said, they're plot holes that I don't want to spend too much time malingering, but that was one of the things that I had to kind of back it up and go, did I miss something here? And it's kind of like I had to take a second. It wasn't till the second viewing that I really it's also a little confusing about the Salvation planet or dimension or whatever.
Yeah, it was the actual journey for them to look for whatever Flag was looking for, which was a Salvation, which would be a prison planet that Lex, and literally him taking Lex's idea of what he did in that Superman movie that we did get to see, everybody. So if you didn't see that movie, go see it, figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you are a true comic cinema fan, you will know the fact that Lex was trying to get rid of all the metas in a different dimensional area. His was not stable, whereas this one is.
Right.
So
and so it good. So what I was getting at was the fact that they did do some recon of the world, because he had pictures, that he was showing them in that briefing room when he was talking about what he was going to do with Salvation, and the secretary of whatever that he's talking to about it had that huge binder. So they must have done some sort of reconnaissance, some sort of research on this planet, this dimension, but yet they still send Chris to it at the end, acting like they don't have all the information. That was a little weird too. That was a little clunky story writing.
That was weird. Literally, that was just an active aggression from Flag towards Chris because of Rick Jr.
Yeah.
But the hearing of some ominous noise in the background of a monster. Yeah, it's sounds like something out of the movie Leviathan, if you remember it, where the island starts rumbling and you saw something in the. If you remember that, but I mean, it's a normal trope. It happens all, but that's the same kind of thing. Is okay. So there's some sort of growling coming from the forest line. So it's going to be interesting to see when we get the next season. How they resolve this, because that's like I said, I don't want to nitpick too much about there's some other issues I have with the plot holes, but overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. Same here.
It didn't have the huge fight scene like we had in the
no, it didn't have a huge like Ender battle scene as we would expect.
Yeah. We did get to see them going through all the different doors and finding a whole bunch of locks.
Bring up. We got Flory leading the group with Harcourt there. as well as Judo Master. And it's funny how Judo Master still wears his mask underneath his helmet, everybody.
I know. I put that in our notes that we've never. It occurred to me I don't think we've ever seen
him
Judo
without his
Master.
helmet.
Not not in his mask, not in his superhero uniform costume, whatever. We've never seen him in street clothes. So I wonder why that is. I wonder if there's some reason behind that. Or what, if it's just a quirk of the character. If you don't know, I did some research on this when I was trying to figure out. I never did figure out who the original actor was going to be for Red Saint Cloud, Red Saint whatever. Michael Rooker. I never did figure that out. But I also in my research discovered that the Vigilante character was actually recast partway through filming of season 1, and that in fact there's several scenes in season 1 where they'd either completed filming or they were really close to being done, because they actually left in the other actor when he didn't take his mask off. So they only had Freddie in season 1. They only had Freddie Stormer come in to do the scenes. In fact, the scene of his face. Yeah. When you see his face, and there's the, I think they said the scene where they were in bed with the woman, and he's got his mask on. That's actually the other actor. That's not in that scene. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But I still couldn't figure out who was supposed to be Red Saint Cloud or Red Saint John, whatever his name was, before Michael Rooker was cast. But
interesting.
But yeah, I thought it was great that we got to see again. That's one of those moments at the beginning when she's talking about Vigilante to Chris, and Chris reveals that his older brother was kind of a dick, and so you realize that Vigilante looks up to Chris like an older brother, and that really explains the relationship a lot better. And so I appreciate that relationship more now than I did earlier in this season.
Yeah, same here. And they do have a bond, which is so funny. But even Chris feels like it's kind of a little bit weird.
Yeah.
He even says that to Harcourt.
Yeah.
And oh my God, there was so many good moments in it. We already talked about the different dimensions, and we said that it was led by Flurry. And
yeah, we had. You notice that there's several different teams. They're just one team.
Yes.
There's at least, because I think they called themselves Team 3. So there's at least 3 teams that were going to these doors and trying all these different doors. And we see a few of them. We see a zombie land, where they get attacked, and one of the guys turns into a zombie there, and Flurry has to shoot him in the head.
Yep.
And we see the one door where they open up, and it's just a screaming skull with like a spider legs.
With spider legs, yeah. That looks like something out of like a video game.
Yeah, I did. And so they just take a picture of that and then they move on. But the black hole. Did you catch what was written on the note that they wrote to Flag on the pictures of the black hole doorway?
No,
I couldn't ever catch it.
It was from Lex, and it said this looks good, but
oh, gotcha, something like that. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so that's where I couldn't read who it was from, or
it was from Lex, because Lex is overseeing everything from prison,
so he is being kept in the loop.
Yeah,
right.
He's kept into the loop. That was the whole point, and that's what that whole sequence at the very end when he does his presentation to the board of what they're doing, and they're like, well, you're giving them a spa treatment in this dimension because it's pretty and nice and they can live, but this doesn't feel like prison. Well, we don't feel that at the very end when we see Chris there, and he jumps and the door collapses, and then he hears this ominous roar, and you're like, he's gonna be dead, or he's gonna fight for his life.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see. Well, that's something for next season that we'll hopefully get to take a look at.
I'm looking forward to that.
And
then we also got the Galaxy Quest kind of Wizard of Oz kind of dimension, where it's like almost like a yellow brick road, but has Willy Wonka's like candy canes and whatever. And then we got the Galaxy Quest Minas coming after the group, and it eats PewDiePie or what was it?
Klein. His name was Klein. No, but Flurry had all of his weird names.
Cupie.
but Klein was the guy's name.
It was Cupid doll,
Yeah.
and his face gets literally eaten out after it smashes the mask. But every time they ripped them apart, it went into glitter or fun goo. And it was so weird, and it came into the real world too. So they must have taken those things. But I looked online literally the next day as I was watching it. I was like, I gotta look this up. Oh my god, this is funny. I was like, oh my god, yeah, it's based off of Galaxy Quest. Okay. And they said it was influenced by that. So
I can see that.
Like,
I can definitely see that. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, and that was the cutting to it. It shows us how disillusioned Bordeaux gets, because all we do is we see all these scenes of Rick and his people laughing and joking while bodies are being carried out.
Just doing drugs, drinking, and what have you.
And they're just having a good old time while these people are dying in these other dimensions, all for a prison. And that's what Bordeaux. I love. We got to see a lot more of Sasha Bordeaux this time, and she has apparently looks like she has joined our side. So there at the end we have the 8 members of Checkmate. We have Judo Master, Flurry, Sasha, Economist, Adebayo, Chris Smith, Harcourt, and who am I missing? Economist. Yeah. So you got 8.
Oh, you said Economist before.
Okay. It's 8. It's 8. I know it's 8. It's 8. It's Economist, Harcourt, Adebayo, Chris, Judo Master, Flurry, Sasha. Who am I missing?
Bordeaux.
No, that's Sasha.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I could have swore it was 8. Anyway,
Adrian.
There you go. Thank you. 8. Thank you. Adrian Chase. Right. Vigilante. Man, I was going crazy because I kept trying to name the 8. So we got 8 people in Checkmate, which I thought was great. And I did click on an article where James Gunn was saying we are going to see Checkmate throughout the DC. And so we did a little bit of we talked last week or the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about this Earth X. And what I come to find out, and I think you did a little bit of research, I did a little bit of research. By research, I mean I Googled one article and read it. But Earth X, the Nazi Earth, has been around for a long time in the DC comics. Been since the early 70s that it's been around. It's only been designated as Earth X in certain adaptations. And I think you were asking about the whole Supergirl thing and Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think that the CW shows are considered the DC EU, which is the DC Extended Universe, and James Gunn is calling his version the DCU, just the DC Universe. So this is just another adaptation of the Nazis winning World War II. So whether it's Earth X or Earth 2 or Earth 10 or whatever, we don't know. I think the show has designated it as Earth 2, but it's just another adaptation of that world. It's just a darker version of that. But it is, like I said, it has been in the DC Comics universe for many, many years, part of the multiverse for a long time. The Freedom Fighters, which is basically the Sons of Liberty, was the group on that world. It had a Justice Society of America instead of the Justice League of America. That kind of thing. We haven't seen that. And so it's going to be interesting to see if season 3, if they explore that universe at all. I know we talked about this last week about whether we were going to get more of Keith or not, because that's still open-ended technically.
Yeah. It's open-ended from last episode, and we don't know. We have the Adrian of that world that kicked the door closed, and we knew that Keith was still alive in that world, and he's still angry.
Yeah, so we could get more of that in coming seasons, or they could just let it drop. It just depends on if they ever try to go back to that alternate world. So it was, like I said, it was really good. We do get at least one closure kind of thing. We get to see Ads and her wife, her partner Kiki, finally breaking up, with Ads admitting that she can't live a boring life and that the other woman can't be in her life because she'd get killed. and so they had to break up. It was a little heartbreaking.
I think it
But
was ads just coming to terms with the realization within that relationship, and her figuring it out that her partner at that time was not right for her. They
yeah,
had two
yeah.
different ideas, and instead of like vegan food for animals or dogs,
No, organic or organic.
organic,
Organic, yeah. It was supposed to
food
be,
for
but it was basically going to be, yeah. It was basically they were going to open up a pet shop,
yeah.
or a pet store, or a pet shop
Mhm.
that sold organic food for animals, and basically ad saying she can't live that life because she's had this taste of this adventurous spy life, and
Mm.
she can't be part of that. And the other one, and letting the other woman know, because she said the same thing. She said, "Oh no, I can't, and I can't be part of your life, because." So yeah, it was good to see both sides kind of amicably
Mhm.
part, and that storyline kind of gets closed out for us, which was nice. We get to see again, this is, we should have known the other shoe was going to drop when things were going so well between Harcourt and Chris. She's laying her head on his chest there at the Foxy. What was it? Foxy.
Oh, I
Um,
have it in my notes. Hold on.
uh,
Yeah, it was the last scene that you're talking about,
Yeah,
and
when we get the actual the
I have it in my notes.
Foxy Swans or something like that. It was FS. It's the group that sings the theme song,
It
the
is,
current
and it's the
current theme
theme song
song.
they do sing while there.
Yeah, yeah,
The vote we confirmation of her. I was like, I have to read my notes, everybody. Sorry.
right.
Foxy Shazam.
That's it. Foxy Shazam. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we get to see that. We finally get one of the things I've been complaining about to myself this whole season is I can never figure out all the words to the song because the opening credits doesn't give us subtitles, but
Correct.
here it gave us subtitles for the ending when they were singing the song. So I got to
Yes.
finally actually see what some of the words were, which I thought was kind of nice. But yeah, we get to see them have another moment there, and that special kind of moment together, which was really great. We get to see the team walking out of Checkmate all together.
Yes.
Again, and if you didn't see that the other shoe was going to drop at some point, then you're just stupid.
Yeah, one key moment I loved Ad's conversation with Chris during the intervention at the hotel of how she felt about how he affected her. And I have it here, the intervention with Chris and the 11th Street Kids, Chris breaking everything down and how he feels, how he just destroys everything and anyone he touches, and he feels cursed. He turns them away is literally what I write. And I write this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, as I, am watching for like the second or third time. And he just keeps going over everything that had happened to him that was negative. Him killing his brother, him killing himself, killing his father in the real world as well, getting his other father killed, and everything else involved. And Ed states that he wasn't listening to himself like he doesn't always do. And that when he is truly who he is, he touches people. And Ed stating that she watched an eagle hug a person.
Yeah.
And when she is around him, she feels loved. And Ads and Adrian and John state that they love him. Even Harcourt does as well.
Yeah, without saying it, they say it. And even like you said, even economists, and Ad says it, like she goes, he's the biggest coward of us all, but yet he puts his life on the line for you
all the time.
All the time for you. And just helping him understand that, again, it's they're saying this without saying it, that he has a family.
Yeah.
The thing that he talked about we talked about this in the last episode, the thing he talks about wanting a family, he's
always had it right in front of him, and he just didn't realize it. And it's literally them pointing out and that they're all tied together, and Chris being ready to leave, but at the end, Chris asking Harcourt about the yacht cruise with Nelson and it meaning something to him. That one scene on because of the boat, and she goes, "You're asking about the boat." Yeah,
Right.
Yes, it meant something, Chris. And then he realized it, and then he goes back in, and his like dance of joy.
Yeah.
I'm loved, and I have somebody that loves me.
Yeah.
He gets confirmation from her, and I thought it was really, really cool because it's kind of like a little kid realizing I did something right. I did something right.
Yeah.
And he's so elated and celebrating in that hotel room, and I thought it was awesome. The flash forward to the rock cruise, though, with Foxy Shazam and the montage with the money, because they have to get him out of debt and prison and with the lawyer and everything. And then they built a new company of Checkmate with Adrian's quote unquote blood money, everybody, because Ads was able to convince him and also convince, Adrian he can't be nasty to his mom.
Again, this is another one of those plot holes that we don't want to think too much about. Somebody just suddenly showing up with millions of dollars or whatever to buy this building or rent this building. They have to
launder it in some way in order to
they launder it. We don't. Again, these are things we don't see. We don't see them. Taking care of it. Even if they
it just happens.
It just happens. And like I said, okay, these are the plot holes you can drive a truck through, but we're gonna let it go because because we want to keep going in this series. So that was great. I love that whole montage was just great of them. They're just so happy and everything is going good, and
even Economist gets like a little wing hug from Eagly at one point.
Gets a one wing. That was great. And Flurry and Adrian
are people involved with Checkmate along with Bordeaux, and you're like, wait, and Judo Master, what's going on here?
Him and Adrian having their discussion about spiders.
That was hilarious. And him. Can they fly? Yeah, they can. Oh, can they reproduce the leg?
Yeah. And what's molting? Well, that's like when the lava comes out of the. Yes.
He's thinking about the movie Lava Lantula.
I don't know, but it was. It's just hilarious. The funny thing too is if you watch closely, blurred out in that scene, you can see Harcourt sitting at her computer, just doing something on her computer, not even paying them any attention while they're having this discussion about spiders. So it's just hilarious, and I can't wait for the next season. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait in between seasons. Now it's like these shows, the production values of these shows are going up. And it's it's the longer and longer we're having to wait between seasons for these shows. Excuse me, I just yawned there if it came across the podcast. I'm tired. It was really good. Just all these moments we have at the end with everybody doing well. And like I said, if you didn't realize that something bad was going to happen, that's on you. I can't on you as so. I just absolutely loved it. Can't wait for them to do another one.
It did take almost 2 years for them to come out with season 2. So
we all know going to be a wait. It's probably going to be 2027 or end of 2026 at the earliest, I would think, before we get another season.
That is true. And with all the changes within the WB and what Warner Brothers looking to do with the DC franchise, who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. I just know that I'm here for it. Whatever James Gunn is willing to do, I'm here for it. We had some feedback. I didn't see if you got it gathered or not. Or
no, I didn't get any. I didn't see any feedback. Did you find something?
I had some. Yeah, I saw some come in from Becky on Facebook.
Oh, she enjoyed it. Literally, it's like something that she messaged me to personally. She goes, "I love you guys." Like coverage on it.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we caught. And I just happened to see that message come up. So thank you very much, Becky, for the kind words. Please keep it coming. I love being podcasting with her as well. So
Yeah.
this has been a great show. This season was really, really good. I can't wait to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
At some point, I did that before season 2, so I'm sure I'll go back. Man, I'm just tired tonight. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
All right. Well, with that, we could go right into, because as far as like feedback, that's all we literally got. We didn't get anything but substantial.
Okay.
But
and there was a lot of music in this one, a lot of songs.
There was a lot of music and a lot of songs, but let's go into that. I have needle drops from Peacemaker 2, season 2, episode 8. Someone Special by Hardcore Superstar was in there.
Yeah, that was at the beginning when he's serenading her in the Belly Burger restaurant and they're having all their shots. That was a lot of shots they had.
Oh yeah.
I was scared that she was going to throw up or something when she leaned over that railing. I was like, they had like 6 or 7 shots each. And I was just like, it's a lot of shots. I don't care if you sat there for a few hours. That's a lot of alcohol.
It is a lot.
And this is coming from someone I can consume. All right, moving on.
I would puke my brains out. Anyhow, and next one up, effing, I'm, censoring myself. Effing My Heart in the Ass by Steel Panther. So I don't know where that one comes from or what scene.
Oh, that's when he's in the hotel room when he first gets released from prison and he's in the hotel room and he's there with Eagly and we're also it's also the montage of them checking all the different doors and all the people getting killed and stuff.
Yes. Okay.
That's when that song is playing.
Next up would be We're Not Gonna Take It by D. Snyder.
So that was D. Snyder covering his own.
It was him covering. He wrote We're Not Gonna Take It, and me being somebody who has met and jammed with members of Twisted Sister at one point, that was D. And it was nice. Acapella and piano only. I don't know where it came from. I have not checked with the man, but
yeah.
It was an acapella version and it was very slow, rendition, and it was very good. That was I'm forgetting the scene. It was very somber at that time. When
Sasha was making when she and Harcourt meet at the Belly Burger diner, and then she brings Sasha to go see Adebayo, and that's all playing when Sasha Bordeaux basically makes her epiphany that she can't stay with the government anymore with what they're doing. So that's kind of in that same, and it's in that same, and Chris is still in his hotel room being morose.
Yep. Next up would be Only My Heart Talkin' by Alice Cooper. And this was a later album, everybody. This was taken from a later album that Alice Cooper had put out. I thought that was done very well. Alice always does give really good music. And then To Get Back to You by Nelson, which we all know. And that was literally from the song we all know that Harcourt and, Chris were at that point during the cruise, or the yacht rock cruise, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And it's Nelson, and it looked live to me. The twins look great. They got beefier because I always thought they were thin. I always thought they were thin guys, but they look great and they sound great still. And I'm pretty sure this is probably a newer song, and kudos to them. I'm glad they're out there. They're still doing what they're doing, everybody. So go out there. If you're a Nelson fan, go out, check them out. Lastly would be Reckoning by Cruel Intentions, which Ads actually does bring up last episode as a band, if you recall, Steve, when she talks to Juno Mancer.
But okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, she did. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So she mentions like Cruel Intentions.
She's doing one time handling rocks and all those other bands that she got introduced to by Chris. Very good. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Good.
But that's about it with our needle drops. We highly recommend that you guys check out the Spotify playlist of Peacemaker, and it's out there. all you have to do is search for it on Spotify.
Yeah.
And that's not a cheeky plug from me, honestly, because we're on Spotify creators. Anyhow, we will move on to notes and quotes. So do you have any notes that you want to bring up?
Nothing. We already talked about the DCEU versus the DCU and stuff, and I've given all the quotes that I had.
All right. Notes. You and I both did talk about before we started recording through messages about what was it? Earth X.
Yeah,
and
we
the
talked about that.
concerns about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, it's so strange because the CW had an Earth X, and we all knew that with Infinite Crisis, and it makes me think: is this all the same? We don't know.
We already talked about this. Yeah.
But I'd like to talk about it again.
Okay. Well, I think because what happened with the TV show with the Crisis was they got rid of all those worlds. All those worlds were destroyed.
Yeah,
and
this is a new world.
Yeah, obviously there's ways they can bring them back, but like I said, I think James Gunn, like I said earlier, I think James Gunn is I think the CW shows like Smallville and Flash and Arrow, all that, the Crisis that they did, that's all part of the DCEU.
Yes.
Which is the DC, the extended universe.
But this is now its own universe. Yeah.
Right. This is where, so I think so. And like I said on the official podcast, James Gunn has kind of talked about, he's going to take some things from here, some things from there, some things that work, some things that don't, if something didn't work, he's not going to use it. And so, because he said, one of the things he said, I think it was on the official podcast, is he said, people are always asking him, is Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, are they canon? And it almost sounds like to me the way he talks about it is he doesn't care. He doesn't care about canon.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't. He just wants to make great TV shows and movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And he doesn't care about the canon. He doesn't care about the retconning. We saw that with this season. with him completely redoing the end of season 1. Doing that whole new scene with the Justice Gang,
even though he had done it how many years ago?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying is, yeah. So, it was his show. So he sees it as his, he can do whatever he wants with it. I think is kind of his, the way he's looking at it. But yeah,
it's my toy box. I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah.
All right. I only have 2 quotes.
Yeah.
One is from Adrian saying, because ads goes, talking about Chris and how they have to get him out. And Adrian goes, he has a lawyer. His name is Jeff and smells of peppermint schnapps and baby powder and burps.
Yeah, I love that. I love ads response is Jeff is a public defender and he's got his own demons that he's dealing with.
Because Adrian is so in La La Land, like that. So funny.
Something like that, she says.
And then the guard, when he comes in to see Chris, when he's in prison, saying, and this is the very beginning, goes, yeah, we got the friggin' Death Angel here, everyone. Hello. And that was it's like after Chris states that he's the angel of death because he's in that whole groveling and upset mode. And how everything he touches turns to death. Oh, it's so sad. But in the end, he did found happiness. But at the very end, he's like, great. I'm isolated on a planet that's called Salvation. Doesn't feel like I'm going to be having any salvation because I got to deal with a demon or something or monster.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the next season to see how they resolve this. Because obviously, Harcourt and the crew are gonna obviously they're gonna realize that Chris is missing, and they'll probably figure out that he's been taken to this other dimension. At some point, I'm going to assume they're going to figure that out, and then they've got to find some way to try to get him back. So, which was another interesting thing that they just kind of through dialogue, Flag talks about the fact that, okay, Bordeaux's team found this world, but Otis's team is the one who figured out how to reconfigure the door so they can go directly from their world. They don't have to go through the QUC to get to this salvation anymore. They can just open a direct door right up to it. They can open that door anywhere on the planet that they want to. So again, that's another one of those things they didn't show us. They just told us about that. We got to see it firsthand with Chris, but still, it's just one of those things where I wish they kind of would show us some of these things of these him figuring out this technology and stuff. So
well, this episode went a little longer than most at this point,
even without that stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, so I think they were trying to cut it to based upon budget, even though the previous episode was shorter than any of the others beforehand. But I think they were saving the longest for last. But they could have done it 2 hours, I think, honestly. But that's my opinion.
They could have given us a little bit more, but that's all right. Like I said, I'm still happy with what we got. I'm not at no point am I dogging on the show or anything. I think they did great. So
yeah, there are a lot of naysayers. A lot of people are upset with the final episode. Me, I'm not upset with it. I'm very comfortable with what we got. I kind of got that little thing in my head that I said to myself, I told you so, that this is what was going to happen, of a cliffhanger with basically, okay, we're going to be stuck here, but it doesn't mean that this is the end of Chris Smith in any DCU movie or DCU show. So I think we'll see more of John Cena in the near future.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. We're going to see some more.
So with that was our coverage of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 8, the finale for Season 2. And that was entitled Full Nelson. So with that, we're going to go move on to podcast recommendations. Steve, you have at least one or two.
Yeah, I just want to give a plug. We haven't talked about them enough this week or this season, but those guys over, Derek and John and Chris over at TV Podcast.
Oh yeah.
They're constantly doing great stuff. They cover a lot of the same things we cover. They're covering Gen V, which we are going to cover eventually here in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, Mark and I will pick up Gen V, get that, either do the whole season or we'll break it up we'll figure it out. We'll discuss what we're going to do. But yeah, the TV Podcast Industries crew, they do a lot of the same stuff we do, and they have a really great, they do a lot of times they'll do a pub quiz and they have some giveaways. In fact, I won one of their giveaways a few years ago.
WandaVision, wasn't it?
Yeah, the WandaVision one. I think it was the WandaVision one. I got a couple of Funko Pops sent to me by those guys. That was really cool.
From Ireland, everybody.
Yeah, super cool.
I would highly recommend just the same, because we are friends with Podcastica. So go to podcastica.com. I also have to finalize everything for Sandman Cast. So Jamie and I will have our episodes out. I know it's been delayed. It's a collaborative podcast for here on Panels to Pixels podcast, as well as Podcastica. It's just a matter of editing and everything. I'll be working on that. I took the last 2 weeks of October off for myself for some, things that you need in life to do for yourself, dental, health, and stuff like that. So I'm going to take that time to work through all that stuff. We are also looking at the Vampire Lestat to come out soon, as well as the Telemasca. So look for the Vampcast that would be on Adrenaline Cinema Podcast for Harcourt Entertainment, the HarcourtEntertainment.com site, as well as Adrenaline Cinema Podcast, as well as for Podcastica.com. So, and then on top of that, everything that's going on for Podcastica.com, just go to that website and they'll keep you apprised. There were changes in Facebook as far as the Patreon for Jason right now, as far as his the Patreon feed for Jason and the messenger threads. So check that out. If you do become a Patreon, do not be upset that you can't communicate with everybody. They're using, I think, Twitch to actually do everything as far as conversations now, because Facebook is getting rid of messenger threads and things like that.
Discord. I think they're using Discord.
Oh, Discord.
Actually,
that's what it is.
I think of Discord. Podcast has a Discord server. So
check that out and become a Patreon.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, for you to submit your feedback, and Becky did send it, and I remembered exactly what she said, because she and I were texting, because I had to edit a few things for her for of all things, for her podcast, yesterday, so she mentioned it, and I remembered it. You could, you could send your messages through Facebook when we post a thread, facebook.com/panels to pixels. Obviously, what we're covering is going to be an image and saying, hey, leave your feedback here. Post it in the comments below. Just do that. And what's on Facebook is on Instagram. And then you could also email us at panelstopixels1@gmail.com. Panels, 2 is spelled out to pixels, and the number 1@gmail.com. Post your thoughts, write them out, and then we can read them. You can also record yourself, leave that as an attachment. We'll play it on the show if you want us to, and then you could be on there as well. We get comments through YouTube, so we can be found on youtube.com. So that's all you have to do is search Panels to Pixels, and then you can leave your thoughts, subscribe, ring the bell, and to get notified, and give a thumbs up if you can. But we do get comments on that as well as Spotify as well. So just leave your thoughts, and then we'll get them eventually, and we'll talk about them, and we'll post them. That's about it as far as feedback is concerned. Where can listeners hear us, Steve?
Well, as we always say, I can be heard right here on Panels to Pixels podcast, and then I send voicemails to various other podcasts, and I also have guest hosted on a few podcasts as well, so you can hear my voice pop up on various places.
Awesome. I can be heard here as well on Panels to Pixels podcast, and also Adrenaline Cinema podcast, Harcourt Entertainment podcast, and whatever podcast I'm guesting on as well. This all you have to do is go to the piratecoreentertainment.com website and follow all the other links, and then you could find all the other stuff that I'm on, or on podcastka.com. So with that, that ends our coverage for Peacemaker Season 2. I just want to thank everyone for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
Same podcast, different panel, different pixel. And this was Panels to Pixels podcast. And we'll see you on the next panel. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.